Hi, I'm Andrew.
I'm Marcos.
I'm Miriam.
I'm Joy, and today we'll be teaching you how to make 2% Agarose gels.
The first step in making Agarose gels is to put on gloves. So these can be obtained from this shelf. Okay.
Next, we get glassware from the glassware cabinet. It's right here. You want to obtain a bottle with a cap that has a 100 milliliter mark at the top.
Next, we obtain a spatula and clean it down with ethanol. Then wipe it down with a paper towel.
So once you've poured 1 gram of Agarose into the label, make sure you replace the Agarose on the shelf. And now you can pour the Agarose into your beaker. So anytime you place a substance in a container, it's important that you label it. So we take a piece of tape and place it on the bottle. And we're going to use an ethanol resistant marker. So you label it with your initials, the date, the substance and how much is in the bottle. So I'll write 1 gram Agarose. And then it's also helpful to write sterile or non-sterile. And this is non-sterile.
So for our next step, we're going to be mixing the Agarose with water. And for that, we're going to need a graduated cylinder. And in this case, we're making 2% Agarose. So we're mixing 1 gram of Agarose with 50 milliliters of water. So we need the correct graduated cylinder. Let's go. In the glassware container, we attain our graduated cylinder. And then we're going to go to the millipore room to get our deionized water. So this is the millipore machine. It filters out the water. Start by holding the trigger and letting it run for roughly 5 seconds. And then we're going to measure out 50 milliliters of water. Double check the height by putting it down on a flat surface. A little over. That should be good. So we have 50 milliliters. Then we're going to mix the 2. And when we stir the solution, remember not to invert it or shake it, just twirl it, like so.
Next, we have to boil the Agarose, and we will use the microwave to do so. Make sure the lid is not screwed on tightly, but rather put on like this. Next, you want to click the minute plus button and let it heat up for about 15 seconds. And at about each 15-second interval, you want to swirl the Agarose like so. And then place back for 15 more seconds. You want to keep doing this until the Agarose is fully dissolved and the liquid is clear. So once it's about done and very clear, it'll be very hot. So you might want to use a protective glove. So you hold it. As you can see here, it's very clear liquid. So make sure to hold it by the glass and then transport it back.
For our next step, you're going to need a large cell plate, your warmed up agarose, a couple of these small molds, a spatula, and micro pipetter. So what you'll do first is you'll put your gels on your plate and kind of assemble the pipetter. Like so. And then you're going to pipette about 2 milliliters into your micropipette. That's more than 2 milliliters, but you get the idea. Then you're going to dispense around half a mil into these small well plates because they're smaller size. And you're going to fill them up until they have that bubble on the top. And now, using a spatula or a pipette tip, actually, either or would work. You have to go in and kind of scrape the recesses of the mold so that you can remove the bubbles. And afterwards, it's important to make sure that the gels are flat, and there are 3 different methods to do this. You could either use your spatula again and kind of scrape the top off, like so. You could go back in with your micro pipette and suck some extra liquid out, or you could use a cover slip and put it on top of the mold. Here I have a cover slip that I'm just going to put on top like this. And now we're ready. Now we wait for a couple of minutes until it dries.
So after about 5 minutes or so, the agarose would have hardened, and you want to make sure it's hard before you take the gels out. So we can just slide the cover slip off of this. And these molds are very flexible, so you can just pop them out, and usually you'll have to use the side of the plate to get them out. And here is our finished gel. So we want to make sure the gels are good, and to do that, the gel should be flat so the cells distribute evenly among all the recesses. There also should be no air bubbles, and so you can see these are flat and don't have any air bubbles.
Once you're done making the gels, return the molds back in the mold container and dump the gels in the biohazard box, and clean the spatula and the plate with 70% ethanol and wipe it down with a paper